All right, ladies and gentlemen, good evening, YouTube. Home Theater Joe here. May turn this down a little bit. So this evening's going to be a little different. I don't even know if this is going to work because I'm going to do a little bit of firmware digging, whatever. But I'm going to be using Calman and trying to share my screen at the same time. This is going to be an experiment. My Calman license actually runs out in a few days. I did go check to see if I had already downloaded 32525, and I have. So I just thought we would play around and go through that. So, um, how should we start this? I've already turned on the display. I have already used my service remote. Uh, Excuse me. Sorry. I've already used my service remote to disable the dimming features and whatnot. The TV has been on for a little while. The meter has been hooked up, and I opened Calman. Now, I haven't touched the program, and I have just downloaded the new 2021 version, whatever, of Calman. So this will be kind of fun for all of us. Again, we'll have to see if it works. What I need to do now is adjust my meter because I just kind of leave it off to the side of the screen when, uh, ow, when it's warming up. Another thing that I should say is that I have no Spectro and I have no profile. So this, what I'm going to do with Calma right now really is just going to tell us about the firmware update. And what I've already looked into on the firmware update, all it says is a couple bug fixes. I have not noticed any difference in luminance. So I'm going to share the screen. Let's just hope it works. I have no idea. Oh no, you know what I did forget? Let's see if it's in this TV. Oh, cool, it is. All right, so my patterns are already in this TV. Let's go ahead and switch to those now. Let's see here. We're going to start with the SDR pattern. Let's see, where are the... There it is, the media play. And I can see now that my meter's already almost in the middle of the screen, but I can dial that in a little further. So let me go to my... Okay, what file? There we go. Calman Home for LG. I'm going to stick it on, let's see, calibrations. Oh, I guess I'm in the wrong folder. Let's see. Oh, SDR HDR demo. Here we go. Okay. So I'm going to start in the SDR demo. And as you can tell, it's a little bright in the room, but that's okay. Sometimes the luminance is an issue, guys. You want to do this whenever you're running the meter. You want to be in all black, all right, or a dark room as you can be. So we'll go ahead and play around with the brightness setting. It is what it is. What I'm doing right now is my display is in Filmmaker, so I'm actually going to set it to, you know what? Let's just go cinema. We're going to do cinema, and we're not going to worry about the light. Let's go to OLED care because we're working with the C1 here. Maybe should have said that. OLED panel care. I'm going to turn off screen move, and I'm going to turn off the adjust logo brightness. As I said, I've already turned off the other two features with the service remote. Due to my limitations, I'm not going to be able to show you the display side, but I'm really hoping you can get an understanding of what I'm doing, and you'll be able to see the measurements and everything that I get from the program through the screen share. So, okay, I've readied the panel. Actually, I have not. I did put it in cinema mode, but I'm going to tell you something. This is very important. We need to make sure that the display is in its native state. And what that means is I'm going to go up here to picture, go over to here. It says select mode. It's in cinema. The aspect ratio needs to be in 16 0.9, not auto or whatever. Just scan needs to be on. Okay. These are the things that need to happen to put the panel in its native state. Let's go down here to advanced settings. Now, the brightness I have off the bat set to 26 OLED brightness, OLED pixel brightness, because I know that hovers around 100 nits on the C1. Okay. We're going to always leave our adjust contrast at 85. Remember, we're an SDR content. We're always going to leave it at 85. Can't tell you the exact science behind it, but LG, that is that's the peak level, just enough contrast for whatever. Screen brightness, we're going to leave at 50. Auto dynamic contrast is off. Peak brightness is off. I can see gamma. I can't mess with right now. Why is that? That's grayed out. Hang on a second. Let's go to clarity. See what clarity says. Yes, it's on 0. Okay, everything is turned off. Cinema screen is actually on by default. I'm going to turn that off. I have a feeling though that something's going. Let's go to color. 50. Color gamut is at wide. Fine tuning. White balance. So I have done this. Obviously, this is something I forgot to tell you. Every time we do this, every time I download a new update, I have to reset everything that I've done. But in this case, it's not too bad. So we're in cinema settings. I'm going to go ahead and reset this now. All right. Because as you can see, I may have brightened up. We need to be at native settings. So I'm actually going to start in clarity. All right. We don't want sharpness. We don't want 10. We don't want 5. We want 0. All right. Super resolution off. Noise reduction. Turning it off. Smooth gradation. Okay, if for some reason true cinematic movement is on, I'm turning that off. Now I can go to my cinema screen and turn that off as well. Let's go ahead and jump in here to color. The color depth we're going to leave at 50. Now, the color gamut is by default at auto detect. Oh, hey, sorry, dude. There's somebody's here. The love landing. Okay, so color gamut's on auto detect by default. We're going to go in here and set it to native. Yeah. All right. Now we're going to go down here to white balance. Of course, it's in warm 50. We're not touching any of that. All right. Brightness. Again, I talked about the contrast. We're leaving it at 85, but by default, it's set at 80. So I'm going to set it back down to 26. And you may see it dimming in here because of that. But if we set the OLED pixel brightness to 26, we're going to hover around 100 nits. And you got to remember, when we're taking our measurements and we're trying to balance that warm white balance, RGB balance for the color temperature warm, we want to be around 100 nits. That's what we need to be. Okay, so just contrast 50, auto dynamic contrast off, peak brightness off, gamma 2.2. We want to leave it there. Black level. This is important, y'all. Limited. Not full. Always want limited. Okay. Again, gamma should be set at 2.2. These are all the native. This is where the panel sits at its native. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I'm just tripping over stuff. I want to get to the important stuff. This is going to be fun. I can hear my son just making terrible noise back there. So we have our SDR Calman thing running from the thingy. Let's go ahead and share this screen. We'll change our layout. We are going to hit share screen. And here we go. All right, there we are. Let's just do that. So that's a little easier. All right, now let's go ahead and find these previous readings. Where would they be? I believe it's right here. Okay, so let's open this guy up. Let's see. This reading was on. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm pointing. It's on 12/31. Now, as you can see, also this was generated by a different version of Calman. There's a new version, so this one's going to be a little bit different. But if you go on down here, you can take a look at the gamma 2.2. You can see the black level at the minimum was 0.0001. All right. And the T max here, that represents our highest value. Okay. So that's 828 nits, y'all. 828 nits. Now, I don't sit here and just run a patch until it gets that bright. I'm telling you that that's what this panel has been out to. The first measurement ever pulled out of this panel was 843 nits. I haven't seen a brightness decrease since this newest firmware, which would be 32525. But we're going to find out right now. And it's only going to take us about 10 minutes. That's the beautiful thing about this. Guys, we're not going to sit here for 45 minutes, an hour trying to run Calman. I'm always saying to people, don't run Calman. Stay out of AutoCal. And now I figured out, like, it took me a while. I'm sorry, guys. It took me a while. I'm slower than molasses in wintertime. But now I figured it out. So here we go. We're in LG. I can share the screen. Let's go ahead and select this guy. Let's go ahead and select OLED SDR. Yep, that's what we want. So I'm just going to talk about this stuff as I do it. We've got our meter. We need to find our source. Let's go down here to manual control. And yes, in case you're wondering, I did enter the LG AutoCal program, but we're going to get to all that. So we want this guy right here. Now I got to remember what that address is. What is it? It's 192. Shit. Yeah, I think that's it. Let's see. Yes, it is. Wow, I remembered. Okay, 9935, 35, 4271, 4271. I really like what they did on the C1 when you get this screen here. When you're performing the calibrations, it gave you, before it was just this bright message. It was like blindingly bright. Okay, so I'm gonna actually pop down here. As I'm in SDR, that's good. That's what we want. I have a 10% window. 18 and 18, that's good. But I'm actually gonna pop down here. I learned this trick from Classy Tech. Shout out to Classy Tech, man. We're gonna turn this to full black because we want to save our oh Jesus, what's going on here? I accidentally pressed something, didn't I? Yeah, I sure did. Okay, we'll just get rid of that. I changed it to full black just to save the screen, right? Okay, so we can go back here. We have our source now because you see the LG thingy is green there, the LG tab. We want to stay at 709, but this is what we want. Power 2.2. Again, guys, we're talking about the native state of the panel, and that's where we want it. If you guys could pardon me real quick, I'll just hop on over to here and just make sure that there's Dude in Wasteland. Let's see, when are you gonna finish painting that closet door? Sorry, I know this is kind of annoying. I just want to make sure that nobody's got any like questions or whatever about the process. So we're gonna stay at D65 and 2.2 in Rec 709. We're in the native state of the panel. I've put the panel in its native state with the user remote, and now I'm making sure that it's in its native state through the program here. So we've hit next. And of course, I can measure this, but oh god, geez, it's just gonna be okay. Let's do it then. If we must, like, I'm gonna go through this really quick. I'm not gonna sit here and I don't even want to do this, but it'll just take a few minutes. We'll see really where the panel is sitting. As you can see here, 2.2, 709. Yeah. That 60 D65 709. We're not gonna mess with this. Now, this is my good tip right here for you. This is what I do every time. So we have this pattern insertion. 45 and 5 is usually what I set it at. But let's look at here. I'm not doing this. I'm disabling that pattern insertion. I don't like it. Then of course we got DEITP, we got DE2000, so we're all good there. Now, changing the white point from 21 point or 22 or whatever to 10 is actually going to save us a good bit of time. We want read series. So, you know what else I didn't do was center the thingy there, but it's close enough to center, so I'm not going to worry about it. As you can see here, as I'm sharing the screen, I guess you can tell or cannot, but the 100% patch here is really close. It's probably a delta error 1.5 or whatever, uh, which is pretty good. And now that we get up here, of course, to 30, that's always usually something. And then, of course, 70 will be another spot that the WRGB does not like. But okay, so we've peaked around 30, 40 here. I've already done all this panel a bunch of times. What does it say? Our average error in the grayscale is 1.5. That's pretty good. If I had a Spectro, I could get this thing even closer. And to be totally fair, this 1.5 number that we're averaging, that's honestly a made up number because one, there is no spectrum, there is no profile, and there's no spectrum, whatever. 1 and 2 and 3, Calman's always going to start with parameters. They're always going to start in a certain, and then make educated guesses as to whatever. So every time I run this, you can see here my average color error is at 2.5 right now. It went up to 2.6. 3 is perceptible to the human eye. So if we can just stay under 3, which it keeps creeping up, we'll see what happens. Oh, I think we're done now, though, right? We only have 1 or 2 more. Aye. Let's see. 2.9. So yeah, this is kind of perceptible what's going on because the non-spectator, whatever, blah blah blah. I don't really worry about the average color. What I mainly focus on is the grayscale performance. So we're gonna click over here to next. We have to find our TV now. Isn't this fun? Yeah. Let's go find it. What is it? It's a 2021 C1. And again, we got to put in our little address here. Yeah, is that it? I think so. We will connect. Yeah, so the screen just turned green on me. You might have seen the color. Yeah. There we go. Now this is the point where I usually check the panel. Excuse me. I'm gonna have to do it just a second. Let's go over here to not full DC reset. When this ends, we'll go. Okay, we're already at cinema SDR, so that's fine. I could hit full DC reset. Doesn't matter because the calibrations I've done to the white point are in the service menu. So whatever, that's not going to change. But as a matter of habit and principle, I never hit the button, man. Not the full DDC reset anyway, right? Okay, so from this screen here, I believe we're good because we're not doing HDR, anything like that. We are not going to enter calibration. We don't need to check the luminance. Okay, this is what we do need. We're going to change these guys here. Actually, I don't even need this. I don't know what I'm talking about. But let's go ahead and see what happens here. Let's change those to the letters. Let's go up here to our basic workflow. And remember, we had changed the 21 point to 10 point. Right now, we're going to do peak white only. Yeah, 109. Thank you. That's a big distinction, guys. We're not looking for white only. If you notice, let me go down here. White only will give us a 100 patch. We don't want that. The panel's in its native state. We want 109. We want 109 white patch because that's how we're going to balance our RGB. So let me again make sure this is turned off. Yeah. That looks good. So what I'm going to do is ask it to read the 109 patch. we'll do a single read. What is that? Let's read series. Read single. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter. I guess we can do. Let's go read single, and let's just see what we pop up with. So, um, as you can see here, it's saying that we're actually at 111 nits right now. All right. So, see, you guys can't see any of this, so I don't even know if I should mess around with it. But let's check this out. Let's see. I'm going to. Just going to open a can of worms real quick. So, I have gone into my white balance, gone over here to medium. I am going to turn this off, and now I'm going to hit adjust one more time to go back one screen, and I'm going to read this again. Let's see what this 109 patch gives us. Again, okay, so now it's 112 because the thing was just sitting here. So really, I need to be at 109, yada, yada, yada. This is not why we're here. Don't really care. So we're just going to move on. I'm going to turn this. Stop. Why do you do that? I don't like it. I'm going to turn this back to black, which is, there you go. All right. So here's what's kind of important now. Once you balance that RGB, and again, I'm not balanced. I'm at 111 nits. So I'm not going to run through any of this. I'm actually go right here to new. Thank you. New calibration. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to select. This is new. You got to select OLED every time now. We're going straight to Dolby Vision. I'm going to take my remote. I'm hopping out of whatever I was just in. Standard. Oops, sorry. Did wrong button. And I'm going to make sure that I'm in Dolby Vision Cinema, which I am. Guys, I'm sorry this is taking a minute, but I'm getting to the nitty gritty right now. Let me see if there are any questions. Hey, brother. What's up, my man? Let's. I know this is probably taking longer than it needs to. So, well, listen, I'm in Dolby Vision now. I'm not going to do everything I normally do. Make sure it's in whatever, and it's all native because it pretty much is. So we're just going to go next. Okay, so this is an important. I'm glad we're here. All right, so it puts us automatically in DCI-P3. That's where we want to be, y'all. And this ST whatever, get rid of that, dude. No, that's disgusting. Ew. I don't know. Some people might argue with me, but hey, what do I know? So I actually also have to go up here and make sure this is an HDR. Yeah. Okay. I hit next. The screen to do something right now. Tell me, yeah, if it's all good or whatever. Of course, it is correct. So we're going to go to our next. We don't need to fiddle with any of this stuff. What we do need to do here is go to Dolby Vision Cinema, because that is the user selection I've made. So keep in mind that we had an 828 reading before we started this. All right, y'all. If you remember that, it was 828 on 12/31 or whatever it was. Again, we're not going to hit full DC reset, y'all. We don't want to do that. So don't do it. I'm not telling y'all what to do. I'm not actually giving advice. I'm just talking to myself. I don't want to give advice. I am not going to hit intercalibration. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to. All right. I don't need to do this either. Let's see what happens, y'all. Let's see what happens. We're going desktop. Let's just throw on desktop. Who cares? Whatever. All right. So you know what? This thing might not be exactly flush. The cord was in my case for a long time. It's kind of mm, it's close, but it might not be. Oh no, what's going on here? See, look, since we entered that new calibration, y'all, it changed this on us here. So looky here. I'm gonna put that back to 45 and I'm gonna turn this off because I don't like it. It's what keeps us sitting here forever. So 45 patches will be measured before it puts in a 5-second patch. As you can see now, it's just cycling through the excuse me, through the patches. It seems to be still putting a pattern in there though, and I don't like that. Okay, the file has been written successfully. Thank you, file. So let's go check this file out, shall we? Uh, that's not it. Where is it? It's probably here, maybe. Do you think? Yes. Okay. And looky here, 810. So with this new firmware update, as you can clearly see, there it is a new version. Uh, it was before 5.12.2. Whatever. You see new version now, and you can see it's been generated on today's date, 2/20/22. And then we go down here, the T gamma is at the gamma is at 2.2. Again, it gives you the minimum, and RT max for today is 810. Now, you could probably argue that, and that thing's not exactly on there the way it needs to be, but I wasn't going to set up my arm and everything. Also, you could probably argue that because the light's on in here, this could be a reason for um, the drop in luminance. What I will say is that I have not noticed any drop in luminance, but from 828 nits, you're not gonna notice a difference. So basically, I could uh, finish the process of what I'm doing here, which would only take another minute or two. But the display is already tone mapped at 820 nits. I don't really need to tone map it at 810. So I'm just going to stop doing what I'm doing with the program right now. But if anybody's like super interested in the way I would finish this up, is actually, what would I do here? I would want to, oh no, I'm sorry. I don't want to do that right now. What I would do is go over here to DDC. Um, and this is what I mean by parameters. I'm going to show you this real quick, hopefully. Um, so luminance is automatically set to 700 out of the box. This display is capable of more than 840 nits on a 10% window. So if you know what I mean, it's just, and I know it's meant to be adjusted, right? So what I would normally do is type in here 810 because that's the number. If it was like 812, I'd still put 810 because I'd want to come a little under, but 810 is a nice round number. So I'd put in 810. I would come up here and then I would enable the calibration. And then I would upload the tone map. And if all that was successful, I would then find myself unchecking the calibration, going to the next screen, and saving that data. However, I'm not going to do that because I don't care. I don't care about the data from this workflow. I just wanted to kind of show you guys one of the processes, and I kind of did this as fast as I could. Just to get it. Oh, hey, sorry, brother. Let's see. I just got a 65 C1 in December. Lovely decision, my friend. I love the TV, but my only complaint is while watching HDR content, I can't find that balance between contrast and pop. Dolby Vision is a bit washed out. Tips. Yes, sir. Of course. That's actually a really good comment. So the C1 is actually pretty accurate out of the box. It's a lot more accurate than the C10 was, and probably more so accurate than the C8 because those are the three that I'm working with. First of all, you have to think of what's your source. All right. I don't know what your source is. Have you run Calman at all? Have you ever calibrated a display? Oh, thank you. Oh, that's even better. It's a WBE panel. So you got that Evo. Yeah, because yours was made as so here's one thing I will say, and I'm going to speculate on this. So don't hold me to it, but anything moving forward, like now in 2022, they have branded all C1 G models and up the R and series OLEDs. They've branded all of those Evo EX panels now. So you can be sure that everything you buy, if it's 2022, it's Evo. Now the A1, it's not going to be that. The A1 will still be a WBC panel, probably, maybe. I don't know about that. But the C1 G1, it's going to be no calibration yet. Still under a few $100. Yes, sir. Good man. You do have to wait for those. Here's what's going to happen for you, I think. For both my C10 and my C1, my friend, after calibration, we're talking improvements in motion, obviously improvement in color. And when I mean improvement in color, it's not better saturation or luminance even. It's accuracy. The C1 is excellent at it, and probably the only display better than that or on the same level would be the Panasonic OLEDs and, of course, the Sony OLEDs from last year. But it does behoove you to calibrate the panel. I think if we're spending this much money on panels, y'all, we got to calibrate them. So I'm hopeful what we went through this evening was a little helpful because here's what I can surmise from what I've just gone through. Uh, there has been a luminance. Well, listen, I can't say that because the light was on, and I think that would have definitely affected the measurements. So I will be honest and say that, yeah, that could easily affect it by 18 nits or so, I would think. So I don't think there's any real difference in luminance. And as far as bugs are concerned, we really just stream back here. We do have the XSS, right? Xbox Series S, yeah, the XSS. So we do have that back here, but that's only hooked up to one HDMI, and basically this is primarily streaming back here. So we have not noticed a difference. I have not noticed a difference in performance at all from the display. And as I said, we saw the numbers there. Oh, my man, Tempo. What's up, brother? What are you doing, my man? Good to see you. I just went through the process. I don't know. Maybe you saw, maybe you didn't. But I'll chop it back up, put it back on the interwebs for y'all to see. But excuse me. Basically, what I did was go through a kind of a quick process to see where the luminance level was on the display. And yeah, really no difference. Let's talk about one other thing real quick. When I want to see what these updates are about, I'm going to go into my bookmarks. I am going to tell you what website it is. Let's see what website. Where is it? No. No. Darn. I don't have it. Is that it? No. That's the James Webb thing. It is, I wish I could remember it off the top of my head. It's XLR8 My Mac. You go to that website, type in, or just it gives you an updated list of pretty much all the major updates for displays, for DVD players, for lots of things, honestly. So it's a really good source. Um, and they're pretty accurate. And I believe for the 32525, all it said was minor bug fixes. So that can range to a whole lot of things, but they haven't changed much. Wait a minute, was that the CX? The C1 may have been privacy notification. No, that was the CX, yeah? I don't remember. I get confused. I get it mixed up between these. So between these guys. Anyway, look, we've been going for 34, 35 minutes. I thought it would be interesting to show this little process because my Calman license is running out and I want to move forward with color space and get that down. But we have a lot going on here. It's kind of crazy here lately. But I do want to say that I'm learning how to navigate this stuff, and it's been kind of fun here lately to do so. So, man, I hope you guys enjoyed that, got something out of it, man. If you have any questions or comments, you can always leave them down below. Like I said, I'll chop this little bit up. Hopefully, maybe there's some important stuff in there somewhere that I can share with some people. And yeah, that's about it. I guess we can wrap a bow on this live stream. Like I said, man, I really hope that that helped. Um, you know what? Before I go, let me just throw this back up here. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think it's a lot about source and putting that display um, in its native state. You put the display in its native state, you get a good source hooked up to it, and you should be pretty good. Other than that, you know, you gotta wait for that calibration, I think. That's the only thing I have to say about that. Sorry, guys. I know it's kind of boring here at the end. I appreciate all of you, though. And this is an awesome community, AV community. Love it. It's very fun. So I think we all know what time it is now, right? Yeah. As always, thank you for listening. Be good. Be safe. Boom. Scared you, didn't I? Boom.